I mean, I guess like the next one starts at 7:15.
Really wouldn't pick up my sound.
There you are.
Hey.
I can hear you.
Okay, so apparently that was the trick, was to just, I don't know, close out and come back in.
Yeah.
So, hi.
Hi.
You look nice.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's been going well. You know what, I'm actually struggling with her, and it's nothing to do with anything other than she's being a stinger right now, is she's just like in a I don't want to mood. And I'm like, well, we're gonna. So
Yeah.
and I think that she's just, I mean, been that way a little bit lately in general. I think a lot of things are just out of whack, and she doesn't have her little system down. So for her, it's been good. I've just been following along, like daily we're going to do this math stuff. So the only thing I'm struggling with is I keep going to the websites where you can type in like the Engage New York, this module, this lesson, and they're supposed to teach, but it never matches what we're looking at in her workbook. So
are you looking up grade 3?
Yes.
3rd grade?
Yes.
So what I would do
it's arrays and things like that, but it's not, we're not looking at the same pages.
So what I suggested to your husband was, instead of using those videos, was to use the homework book for daily work.
Okay.
Because it shows you how to do each problem more traditionally, like it's a more traditional math book. So I would use that. And then you could also, if you just Google 3rd grade module 1 lesson 6, you will have a guy pop up named Dwayne Habaker, and his videos will match. So I know Mrs. Gordon wanted you to have that website, but it's more of an overview of like lessons 1 through 6.
Okay.
When I look at it as a teacher, and not each individual lesson.
Okay, so that's the one that we found, that guy, and that wasn't matching what we were doing, but maybe we weren't in the right book, because I'm doing the book that has like up to ticket. Like
so there's a link in tonight's online packet, but we're starting now, but there is a new math link, so try that.
Okay.
It's on Google Classroom if you open the packet there.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you guys to mute. Richardsons, you need to mute, please. Sorry, I'm giggling. How are you guys? This is a little different because I can see myself, but the last meet I couldn't see myself. So before I start today, I sent home in your child's binder a schedule of what we're doing in class. So they should have given that to you tonight. There's a multiplication table in there, and why I can't skip 30 minutes of reading a night. So parents usually like to get things like that at back to school night. So that came home today. Our schedule may be changing. There's a little surprise coming, but we're waiting for Mrs. Gordon. So a couple of things might change on there a little bit. You guys, you're smart to come to the second one because I've done this once, so I'm a little more relaxed. I just wanted to share with you where I went to college because I think that's important. I graduated from St. Mary's College of California a really long time ago now with a bachelor degree of arts in liberal studies with a minor in child psychology, and I received my teaching credential there as well. I have over 25 years of teaching experience, and this is my 8th year of 3rd grade. So I am, at first it was different when Mrs. Gordon said, oh, you're gonna go back and teach 3rd grade. But now that I'm here, I love it. I just absolutely love it. So Mrs. Cope, there you go. Thank you. Okay, I have 4 daughters, and my husband and 3 of our daughters and I moved to Idaho about 2.5 years ago. And God literally brought me to St. Mark's. Definitely feel very called to be here and called to be in this room this year with your children. I definitely have the parental background. 3 of our girls, Paige is 22, Molly and Catherine are twins and they're 20, and then Hope is in junior high. So I definitely understand when things come up and just kind of how parents do things, because I am a very involved parent when it comes to emails and talking to teachers and things like that. So just want you to know that. Welcome to third grade. I'm just going to read from the packet so I don't miss anything. This year, we will embark on an exciting journey of reading, writing, social studies, science, math, and religion. Together, we will work hard to achieve all of our academic goals, and at the end of the year, we will be more than prepared for fourth grade. My educational philosophy is to create an environment where learning is always possible and embraced. The purpose of education is to teach specific skills, and something less tangible but more profound is to convey knowledge and well-developed wisdom. As teachers, our role is to be knowledgeable about our area of expertise, to have a classroom where learning experiences are created and learners are prepared to embark on new experiences and newfound wisdom. In order to create this atmosphere, I'm going to say we, because we have lots of adults in our room to share. We will use various teaching methods to foster different learning styles. Education should be of the whole person, one including spiritual, social, and emotional awareness. There should be a strong core curriculum with high standards and emphasis on religion, English language arts, math, science, and social studies. Students who know how to think will know how to learn and will create learning experiences throughout their lifetime. With all of that said, attendance is very, very important. So I did have a student today. It broke my heart that the student was so frustrated, but the child's missed 3 out of 6 math lessons. So he's missed half the math. So to come in and have the lesson that we did and try to be where the class is, it's really hard when they haven't been receiving those lessons. So please make sure your children are here. I forgot to mention this earlier, but in third grade, it's the first year the students are used to getting letter grades, I believe. So that it's a big change. We'll be easing into that slowly. So their math in class, some of it I'm giving stars on. We're giving instant feedback to make sure that they understood what we were doing. And then I will put a grade on their exit ticket. Once we know they understand the math, we try to give them a little quiz, basically a daily quiz. I don't count it as a quiz grade. We count it as a class assignment, but it just lets me know if they understood the topic or not. For parent communication, with a wall in between us and running back and forth, which I am doing all day because I want to give each group equal access to the classroom teacher, I don't have a lot of time to read emails. So the easiest and quickest way to get to me is in your child's planner, because I initial it after we write in it for it to go home before the end of the day. Some students are really good about letting me see the note right away. Homework is always due the next day, or unless we wrote when it's due in the planner. So my point with that is, if for whatever reason you have a late night at our house, it would be an emergency room visit. I hate to say that, but if you write me a note as a parent and let me know why, usually I'm going to excuse that. I'm strict, but I am very kind and fun and loving at the same time. So it's hard for them to talk to the teacher when they've made mistakes. So I try to teach them in third grade, it's okay to trust me enough to say, I didn't get this done. I have a note from my parent, and then we work through it. But it has to be like in our homework guideline for school. You can't be like, oh, we went to Disneyland. And I will ask your kids. Like, this is one of my students who missed 3 of the math lessons. The parents said, oh, well, we have cousins in town. So I asked the child, oh, how was visiting with your cousins? The child said, I was playing with my mom's friend's child. And I'm like, okay, so your work isn't going to be excused. So, and honesty is really important. So don't teach them to tell me, oh, tell your teacher I was sick. Like, let's just be really honest, work through it, and I will be fair about it. Our homework policy is to count work late 10% the first day, but I'm really going to try in third grade, if it's not a repeat offender and it's like a one-time deal, to say, okay, bring it tomorrow or work on it at recess, but I won't count it late. But if it's habitual, there will have to be academic consequences for grades. Let's see. You will get a Friday folder. This is our first full week of school. So by next Friday, you'll get a Friday folder with your students' work that we have graded or looked at, and it will be sent home. There will be sometimes notes in there, maybe like our math program has notes for parents, what's coming up. So you'll get things like that there, and also in our newsletters. For birthdays, right now, well, through the year, it needs to be pre-packaged with everything going on right now, just for safety. It's pre-packaged and sealed at a manufacturer. When we do have a student right now that's not in class, when she returns, we absolutely can have no peanut butter treats or treats with nuts in them brought to class, but until she returns, it's okay. Like, the kids are enjoying having peanut butter right now. If you would like to bring a fun pencil, stickers, or again, like I said, a peanut-free snack that is packaged, you may do that. It's not necessary to bring a birthday treat. We will still celebrate. They just get a little pencil, we sing, and we move on. If you bring in, there's always that person that brings in something that doesn't follow the rules. Trina's had me before. I will send it home. I will not serve it to the students. I have a daughter with type 1 diabetes, and we just really need to follow the food allergies and things like that in class, and safety first. So if you do bring something that is not sealed by the manufacturer, it goes home. And you can be mad at me and we'll all move on. So for our curriculum, and also, if you guys can't tell, I'm very matter of fact. So I don't ever mean to be rude. I'm just kind of, with adults, I'm a straight shooter, and with the kids, I'm really kind and gentle. For religion, we have a fairly new program that we started last year, and it's a lot deeper and more rigorous with Catholicism, and more, I would say, traditional than what we had before. And I love that Mrs. Gordon brought it to our school. It's by Ignatius Press. And this year, our book is called Our Life with Jesus. So chapter 1 was about God loving us. We were going to start chapter 2 today, but school happened, so we will get to it this week. Also for religion, third graders are required outside of the classroom to complete 3 hours a semester. It was 5, but with COVID, I'm just asking for 3 each semester, for 6 total. I will take anything, if they happen to do anything this summer, I will take that when the Google form is up. I'm okay with that. I think it's important to try not to double dip. So, you know, if you have Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts or outside things, I think it's really important to realize, like, our Catholic Church has things we can do, things like that. So I'm not going to not take it if you're double dipping, but I just think it's a good time for them to learn fun ways to provide service, you know, making cookies for grandparents or for neighbors, or maybe someone who's not able to go to the store because they're not well. They go grocery shopping with mom and dad and get groceries for a neighbor who's not feeling well right now, and something like that. But don't get close to the neighbor. For reading, we're using a program, Reading Street, that St. Mark's has used for a few years. It's a good program. I do add to it at times to make it a little deeper with a program from New York that I've had a lot of training on, and we do little mini lessons, and those are more about just reading in your daily life as opposed to opening up a reader and doing that. So things we've worked on so far for mini lessons are reading with fluency, reading with expression, and context clues, and, you know, just using those in our everyday life. Sorry, let me gather my thoughts here. For AR, it's listed as accelerated reader on the packet. For AR, your child took an AR assessment. We will take one right after each report card. This year, obviously, we took it at the beginning of the school year. And it's based on 20 minutes a day of reading, and that is not in class reading. That's at home right now. As we move, it takes about 30 minutes right now to pack up, to write in a planner, have me approve it, get everything in their binder in case we go online overnight. So we are missing time there, but as we start transitioning more quickly, they'll have more time to read like a chapter book in class. And they are reading, but right now it's more when they finish their work early. And on Fun Friday readings, they get almost an hour of in-class reading in their AR book. So your child should have received a like a white label with a color code on it, and they should have been given points that they need to reach on AR. As long as we're at school, Mrs. Gordon isn't having us take AR tests at home right now. That's in class. If we go online again, which I'm hoping we don't do that full time, then she will open that back up to take at home. For language and writing, we're focusing on grammar and punctuation. We'll have mini lessons again from that New York reading and writing. And those will pertain to the unit writing assignments. If for whatever reason your child is at home learning or has to, if I'm not doing a live stream for whatever reason, then I will ask you to follow the writing that goes with Reading Street, because they still hit on those. It's just not necessarily in the order that we do in class. So we will write by the end of the year a narrative fully published, an opinion piece fully published, and a nonfiction piece fully published. So we've started the narrative unit, and they will have maybe 4 or 5 narratives. Some will be started, some will be finished. What we end up doing is they learn how to pick one of those narratives. Well, hold on, people, the lights went off. Okay, we're good. It has to do with movement, sorry. This is like Saturday Night Live. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging in there. So when they pick their writing piece, they have been given all the tools they need to publish their piece. And with adult assistance, this will be in the computer part, they will publish that piece. So with 27 students, adult assistance may mean at home, it may mean in the classroom, or both going back and forth. And those would be in Google Docs. So it'd be easy to do back and forth. So I will skip the computer part because I've kind of put that in there. For math, we're doing mostly Engage New York or all Engage New York. And on occasion, we will do Zern if needed. I've used Zern for years, and what I'm feeling right now is the lessons that we've done in class, they need some review. So I'm going to review with them, and then we may still need to back up and do a little bit extra. So we'll see how that goes. So for handwriting, we're using handwriting without tears for cursive. If you've had our 3rd grade cursive before, we, sorry, I have a surprise in the other room, but that surprise isn't coming this evening, but she's making sure I'm recording. Handwriting without tears. So I'm not grading every single thing they do, because what I noticed as the 4th grade teacher at St. Mark's is when I got them for writing, they were really apprehensive because they were worried about what their cursive looked like and things like that when we were writing. So I will grade their cursive in their cursive packet. I will tell them when I'm grading cursive, if it's like a little paragraph, that kind of thing. But they'll always know when that piece is being graded. So for spelling, those spelling words will come from the story that we're doing in Reading Street. So on Spelling City, I click on the story that we're working on, and those become their spelling words. This week is a trial for Spelling City. So I did it much differently than the 2nd grade teachers. So next week, it'll be a little bit more familiar to all of you. And the kids are definitely helping me, like, this isn't what we did in 2nd grade, Mrs. Russell. So we'll transition them. If we go online, we may not do the paperwork. I'll give them a spelling packet on Mondays, and it'll be due on Friday. And then they'll still have Spelling City activities to do at home, and they'll also have a little bit of class time to work on that as well. For science, we'll be doing mystery science. We'll do some themes involving science. But I have a surprise coming for science, so We'll send out a little something on science a little bit later for you. Social studies, third graders learn about community, a little bit about our economy and kind of what runs our economy and keeps it going. And then they learn a little bit about government and how laws are made. So our general expectations for 3rd through 5th grade, students arrive prepared with homework, planner, and materials needed each day. We are going to keep Chromebooks at school. So if you absolutely have to have one, we can send it home if you had signed one out, but the intent was really for online learning, not for daily homework right now. So I didn't know that and I got in trouble yesterday. So we're gonna try to keep them here as much as we can. But if you need one at home, please let us know. We can work that out. Students will show respect to all adults, children, and property on campus. All adults is a really big one. So as parents, if you just remind your students, we do have other adults working with me in the classroom this year, that they need to respond as politely to them as they would to me. Students put forth full effort in class regardless of their ability. Students will pursue virtue. So our homework policy, this is what I was talking about a little bit ago. I can't see what I'm presenting to, so that's why it's not scrolling, and I apologize. But our homework policy is a 10% reduction in a grade for the first day it's late. And again, we talked a little bit about this early. So that's really for me if it's a repeat offender. If it's someone who's always doing their work and it's like a one-time thing, that's different. And then it goes on, it's 20% for day 2 and 50% for day 3. It's 8 for unexcused absence. Each child will fill out a service form on Google Classroom. A due date will be written in your child's planner. Hours from the summer may count towards the fall semester requirements. So I'm going to open it to any questions. So just going to let you take your time. If you are more comfortable, the last group did not want to talk and they wrote some messages in chat. You're welcome to stay and ask questions. When you're ready to leave the meet, you will need to leave the meet so I can leave the meet once it's over. And there's a circle with a red telephone in it. You would press that to leave the meet. So you're welcome to stay and ask questions. I'm ready.
I threw it in the chat, but I'm happy to answer or ask you.
Yes.
First thing, thank you very much for everything you do. We really appreciate it and know that, you know, how important what you do, and our kids just are so much happier being in school. And I fired the homeschool teacher, i.e. me, several times. So thanks for doing that. I'm curious, I've noticed we're just trying to calibrate homework load,
right.
And we have 3
yes.
groups, and so they're all kind of
yes.
different. Can you give
yes.
us an idea of what to expect? It seems like it's
but yeah. So kind of a national standard, if you will, for 3rd grade is 45 minutes. Math has been really hard this week. Normally they have, so we started with division and multiplication. So normally they would have math. They would have 20 minutes of reading, and spelling homework. And Trina, I'm sure will nod, and the Richardsons, I really don't veer from that. It's reading, spelling, and math daily. But I will not send math home if my job isn't finished. So I believe homework should be something that, with a little bit of parental help if needed, it's something that they can get through. It shouldn't be something they're struggling through. So tonight I told the kids, and if we'd taken a math assessment, which we did today, I wouldn't send home homework. So today we did, and I should have put that in here, I apologize. But today we did a handwriting evaluation for how quickly they can write their numbers. And based on that, they were given a new sheet to fill out by level. So let's say, my name's Heather. So let's say Heather wrote 20 numbers in 1 minute. On 15-second time tests I gave today, I would have needed to get 6 in each level to keep moving up the levels. And no one in our class got past, I think, the 3rd level in addition. So we have a lot of quizzes to take for math facts. And it kind of shows you why the multiplication and division is so hard. I mean, I'm a mom and we've been home. I'm rambling, but we've been home for 5 months. So I've slacked on math facts, but it's making multiplication and division very hard. So that's why they didn't have a lot of homework tonight. Does that answer your question, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I was just curious. I don't know about like spelling lists and such.
Right. So those are coming. So
so I guess the question, Heather, is I haven't missed them. We just haven't really got them. We're not asking for less work.
They will be there.
More, so.
Yes. So I mentioned a little earlier, you may have missed it because I talk so fast, but the packets that you all are used to from Spelling City, at least if you had Mrs. Bernstein, those will start on Monday.
And it wasn't you, it was me. I was trying to log in with my own login and password.
Oh, sorry. Great video, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Mrs. Cove. What did he just drop there?
Ms. Russell, are you going to be posting their assignments on the classroom, the Google Classroom?
No, sir.
Okay.
I will if we go online.
Gotcha.
Yep. It's just, Mr. Richardson, it's just, it's a little crazy for teachers right now. So I have 5 devices in my classroom to see both. It takes about an hour and a half of online planning. So if I were to get COVID and I had to stay home, a substitute could come in and see everything we're doing. So it's just a lot to expect. But if we go back to AB or stay home, then everything will be on Google Classroom.
Okay, perfect.
So it will be there if they're learning from home.
Okay. Glad to have you again.
Thank you. So I'm here if you have, feel free to ask questions. We are trying to get the kids, since I have some time, together. So I've taught in the auditorium with all of them. And they sit on X's in there that were pre-marked. We do go outside and work together on nice days, especially the boys right now like to play in the mud. Miss Jim was awesome enough to do a lesson out there and it went really well. And you guys can see a picture of that from last week's Friday Facts. So we are trying to get them together in large groups. At a distance.
Since there's not a lot of questions being asked, what's one thing that you've learned or pivoted on since the year started and kind of, it's a large class, so you've got a lot to manage. What have you learned?
Well, I've taught 42 students at one time, but what I have learned is that a wall with 27 students is more work than 42 in one classroom. We're doing really well. I've learned a lot about technology. I've learned that I am the old lady at St. Mark's. So my daughter's fiance came in last night, and this is what I mean by going back to what Dick had asked me. It's just the amount of time teachers are putting in right now, and then if parents are asking for more, it's exhausting, and I'm willing to do it. But I had to be here till 9 o'clock last night to pull this off because I have 5 monitors. I'm so old, I didn't even know how to like click one window and drag it to a whole new monitor. So I had to learn that. I have monitors set up in both classrooms so I can see the other classrooms, but those weren't set up correctly. So we were here late redoing this setup last night. I'm learning patience, and I am just remembering, don't pray to God to ask for patience because he's going to give me more.
Ms. Russell, is there anything we can do for you to help?
Obviously. Coffee, lots and lots of coffee.
Okay.
Honestly, the kids are doing great. We have a lot of support. We do have more support coming, and that's part of an announcement that will be made later. And I'm just really excited about that. The kids are really, really blessed, and I am too. But Mrs. Gordon asked me not to say too much, so I'm going to stop there. Yeah, I'm learning how to work with adults in the classroom because that didn't used to be my thing. So I have Haley Jensen in the room most of the day, if she's not out at recess for yard duty. And I have Mrs. Temple all day, every day, and she's awesome. And once in a while, I will have Mrs. Hill in the classroom, or Miss Casper opposite of her son's classroom, if I need a little bit of extra support I need to run to the restroom or whatever it is. So they always have 2 or 3 adults with them and 1 in each room. Oh, yeah, I talked about Chromebooks with this group.
Okay, well, thank you again. Is there anything else,
You're
or should we let you go?
No, we're good if you're good. When you guys go, instead of just going out, if you'll press the red phone, I can't leave. I'm willing to stay for a couple more minutes, but you'll have to leave the meeting by pressing that red phone. And actually, Google's changed it. I can have you exit that.
I think that leaves me.
Are you good?
I think so. I have a couple questions, but they weren't things that were going to pertain to
Okay.
so I didn't want to.
Right.
Also, if you want to like go home and be
No,
done.
this can be our weekly get together.
I also understand if you'd rather just get an email. Like,
I'd rather just, yeah.
okay.
Oh, let me stop recording.